Let's turn this pile of metal into these miniatures.
Hello, my name is Gareth, and this is the 8th episode of my video blog. This series of videos is documenting my journey into Warlord Games Bolt Action. In this episode, we will be putting together some reinforcements for my early war German army. Unfortunately, I have been absent from making videos for most of the summer. The reason for this, at the start of summer, I received 2 deliveries. The first delivery was the new 40k Leviathan box set. When time has allowed, I've been building up and painting the Space Marine portion of this set to add to my growing Black Templar army. I definitely felt burnt out at the end of 9th edition, but I am enjoying the direction Games Workshop are taking 10th. The second delivery that we received was far more important. At the start of summer, me and my wife welcomed the birth of our beautiful son. This amazing and life-changing event has brought us so much joy. Our little baby has joined his 4-year-old brother to complete our little family. This summer has been one of precious time together and relearning what was involved with looking after a new baby. And my goodness, we had a lot to relearn. While this hasn't allowed much time for the hobby, I wouldn't have had it any other way. But now that we are settled and the baby is sleeping well, I can start to squeeze out some time to pick up where we left off. And where better to start back than by adding some much needed reinforcements to my early war German force. One of the nice things about Warlord Games is that if you order from them directly, they sometimes throw in a free miniature or sprue. With this order, I got a sprue of Imperial Roman Velites. I'm not sure what I'll do with them yet. I do have a load of unbuilt Roman miniatures from a lockdown panic buy, but I haven't got round to them either. I decided to pick up 3 support options to add to my early war German force. The first is another metal MMG team from Warlord Games. The second is a metal MG motorcycle, also from Warlord Games. Finally, I picked up an anti-tank Pack 36 from Perry Miniatures. This is the first time I have bought a metal miniature from the Perrys, so I'm interested to see how they compare with the metal models from Warlord Games. If you have followed my previous videos in this series, you will know that I'm not the biggest fan of metal miniatures. Although they are growing on me, I still overwhelmingly prefer plastic kits. The main reason for this is chipping. No matter how many layers of varnish I put on a metal miniature, they always seem to chip. I don't know if there's something I'm doing wrong, or if this is simply a part of having metal miniatures. However, I am learning to enjoy them. I have seen since starting this World War II project that you can't really get away from metal miniatures. While on the UK Warlord website making these purchases, I thought I'd take a look at the last chance to buy section, which is never a very good idea, but I did see some individual sprues for Project Z on sale. Now, I have no desire to start Project Z or any other zombie game, so I thought if I could make some epoxy molds of the AK-47s and RPGs, I could combine these with Warlord's World War II Soviet infantry box set. Then we have the start of a nice little post-war Soviet army. What I do with this post-war army, I don't know, but that's a bridge for another day. On to the metal miniatures. If you have watched any of my previous videos, you will know that I'm not a massive fan of metal miniatures. I find them difficult to work with, but most of all, I hate when you drop them and the paintwork scratches and exposes the bright metal underneath. But I am learning to tolerate them, and I do want to enjoy them, because if I don't and only buy plastic, then I'm shutting myself off from a whole range of interesting miniatures. Using files and clippers, I cut away any of the excess metal and file down the mold lines. Some of the miniatures needed very little work, but some of them needed quite a bit of work. Again, as with other metal sets I've bought during this Bolt Action project, these models didn't come with any instructions. That didn't prove to be too much of an issue. It was fairly clear where things were meant to go. Where I did get stuck, I just looked on the Warlord and Perry websites and looked at the pictures. I am using Gorilla Super Glue to stick these miniatures together. I've used this glue before and it hasn't let me down yet. I am also using a super glue activator. Unlike plastic glue that sticks quickly, super glue on metal takes ages to dry. A quick spray of the activator and the glue dries instantaneously. And here we are. A German MMG team, an MG motorcycle and a Pak 36. To prime the models ready for painting, I used 2 spray cans. First I used black for the machine gun, the motorcycle and the Pak 36. And then grey for all of the human figures. On to the painting. For any metal bits on the models, I used Citadel's Lead Belcher with a dry brush of Runefang steel. For any of the wooden bits or cloth pouches, I used a combination of Mornfang Brown and Zandri Dust. For the German uniforms, I used the paints that came with the early war German paint set sold by Warlord Games. For a more in-depth look at how I used these paints, please do check out episode 1 of this series, where I went over the Blitzkrieg German infantry. As I said at the start of this video, life has gotten busy, and rightly, my focus has been on the wonderful new addition to our family. This has left little time for anything hobby related, but the wonderful thing about this hobby is that it's fine to just drop it when you need to and pick it back up when you can. The paints, the half-built models, the huge plastic pile of shame, it'll all still be waiting for you when you return. I think that flexibility is why so many of us find a deep comfort and enjoyment in this hobby. I have enjoyed getting back into painting and organising what I need to paint next. My immediate aim is to round out both the early war German and French armies to get them to be roughly equal in points. I think my next purchases will be some French artillery, but I also want to get some armoured cars and early tanks. Painting the Pak 36 and motorcycle was very easy. Both got a covering of Mechanica standard grey and a dark wash. On the motorcycle, I picked out a few of the extra details, but it was essentially the same 2-step process as the Pak 36. Once I finished painting, all of these models got several coats of matte varnish. I did this more to take the shine off the models than to actually protect them. No matter how many coats of varnish I put on my metal miniatures, they never seem to be fully protected. Any drop from whatever height will scratch the paint off and show the bare metal beneath. I find this so frustrating and a big reason why I struggle with metal miniatures. And here we are, 3 finished support teams. I'm very pleased with how these have turned out. If I had started and finished these miniatures in one go, it wouldn't have taken me very long at all. However, with the limited time that I've had over the summer, it's embarrassingly taken me about 2 months to finish. As you will notice, they are not completely finished, and I haven't based any of the miniatures yet. The reason for this is because I'm waiting on some orders of terrain and basing materials to arrive. The barrel of the Pak 36 and the machine gun on the motorcycle are so fragile they will break off with even the most gentle amount of tabletop play. So, to stop this, I want to place the artillery piece next to some walls or trees so that they can be touched to move the model, instead of touching the model itself. The same with the motorcycle, I want to place some low walls onto the base to act as a barrier. I will be sure to post some pictures up here when I am fully finished. At the time of posting this video, I am a few short of 1,000 subscribers. When I started this channel, never did I think it would reach this amazing milestone, but I am truly very grateful to everyone who has shown support to me and this project over the last year. Thank you very much. If you haven't already, please do consider subscribing to the channel. Now that life is back on an even keel, I'm looking forward to making many more videos over the coming months.